I'm going to make a Art Deco design, and I'm going to use sort of a poster. I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm going to name this Art Deco. Maybe not. And I'm going to make sure this is in inches. I'm going to do 15 by 20. If I look down at the advanced options, I'm going to have CMYK color, and my raster, I'm going to go to high, it's 300 ppi, and set create. Okay, with my new artboard, I'm going to look over and make sure I have no fill and just the stroke. And if I look over at the stroke, I have 1 point. I think I'm going to do 5 points. Let's do 4 points to start with. All right, and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, but I'm going to grab the ellipse tool. And I'm just going to come out and hold down Shift to make a nice ellipse like that. I'll let go, and I'm going to grab my direct selection tool. And with my direct selection tool, I'm just going to come over and click and drag on the left side of this. So I'm just clicking over this anchor point and this anchor point. You'll see that an ellipse will have 4 anchor points, and that's all. So I'm just dragging a selection around the left one and the bottom anchor point, and then I'm going to hit my delete key so that I just wind up with this. And I'm going to extend the end of this. I still have the direct selection tool, just clicking on that, and I'm dragging that down a little bit like that. Okay? All right. I'm going to open the stroke panel. If you don't have it open, you can go to Window and go down to Stroke. Click on it that way. I'm going to make sure that this is open. Sometimes this isn't open all the way. I just left click on these 2 little, so I get this. Okay? And I'm going to change this stroke line by I'm going down to Profile. I click on that on the right, and I'm going to go down to where it says Width Profile 4. And you see it made it a little bit narrow on the bottom. Okay, from here, I'm going to go grab my Reflect tool. And here's my Reflect tool in the Tools panel. It's right below my Width tool. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it is Shift M. Whoops. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Sorry. It is O on keyboard shortcut O on the, and with that, I'm going to click on the bottom of this. Okay. And I need to hold down my Option key though. I click on that with my Option key. Whoops. And you'll see it flipped it, and then it opened this Reflect. I want to have it say vertical, and I just want to go down to where it says copy, and it copies that. I'm going to grab my selection tool and select both of these, right click and say group. Okay. And then with that, I am going to hold down my Option key on my keyboard, and I'm just going to click on this line and drag it up a little bit. And I'm making a copy. And then I'm going to press Command D to make several. And I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll do 10. Okay? All right. I'm going to go to Object up at the top. I'm going to make sure these are all selected. I'm going to go to Object at the top, and I'm going to go to expand appearance. And then I'm going to go to Pathfinder, Window, Pathfinder, and make sure I unite all these. Okay? All right. So far, so good. I'm going to create an ellipse. So I'm going to go over and grab my ellipse tool, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this. Zoom in a little bit more. And with my ellipse tool, I'm just going to make a circle around here. And I'm holding my shift key down so I make a good circle. And I want it to be big enough so that it matches this side up with this side. So I can drag on that. I'm holding down my shift. And I just want it the same size so that this is kind of matching up with those lines. And then I'm going to drag it down. You'll see that I have, remember I told you I have 4 anchor points? I want that anchor point right on here. I can't see it very well. So I'm going to go up to the opacity up here and drag that a little bit to the left so I can see it better. And now I can see that my anchor point, when I drag this, I'm trying to get that anchor point of my ellipse so it matches up with that bottom, I'm right here, with that bottom line, the last one. And pretty close there. Okay, so from there, I'm going to turn the opacity back up. And I'm going to go get a tool that we haven't used yet. I don't think we have. It's called the Shape Builder tool. It's also, you can hit Shift plus M on your keyboard and get it like that. And I'm going to hold down my Option key, and I'm going to cut all this excess over here. So there's been a few of you who have asked me before, how do I cut things off around the outside of things? And I was trying to use the scissors before, but this tool works really well too. I need to select both. So before I actually grab that tool, I'm going to go to my select tool and make sure I have both my pattern design and my shape, the ellipse, selected. And then I'm going to go grab that Shape Builder tool. I'm going to hold down my Option key, and I'm going to draw a line around the outside of this. And you see it cuts away those. So I want to get these smaller ones too, these little snippets that are hanging on. And maybe this one. Yeah, and then I'm going to come over on this side and get all these too. Yeah, that looks good. I think I got this one. Let me zoom in and make sure. Maybe, is that one? Yeah, it was. Yeah, you want all those off. There's another one I want. Get rid of that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. All right, after I've done that, I'm just going to go and get rid and go back to my selection tool. And I don't need this ellipse anymore. So I'm just going to drag it away and then say delete. And it's gone. All right. Okay. I'm going to go up to Object. I'm going to make sure this is all selected. And I'm going to go up to Object. And I'm going to go to Pattern. And I'm going to say Make. And it's going to make a pattern for me. I'm going to say OK to that. And then over in the Pattern panel, I'm going to raise these up a little bit by going to the height on this. And I'm just selecting it, and I'm hitting my arrow keys to kind of make that pattern go into the other one. I'm going to cross them up a little bit like that, maybe. Not sure. Something like that. kind of want them to overlap a little bit. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to hit this little done at the top. And this created a pattern, all right? And if you look over at my swatches panel, you'll see that my pattern is right here, okay? I'm going to increase the size by going to Object. If I need to, maybe you don't need to. I go to Transform, and I'm going to go to Scale, and I can increase the scale of that. I might want to wait until after I've actually put it into something, okay? So I'm going to try this. I'm going to go ahead and select this and delete this. I have the pattern in my swatches. I'm going to go grab my rectangle tool, make a rectangle. Zoom out a little bit. I'm going to make a rectangle around this. And I'm going to click on the fill and then choose my pattern. And there it is. Again, if I wanted to increase the size, like I was showing you, I could do it after I put this in here. I could go up to Object, Transform, Scale, and increase the size. So I can just highlight this and again use my Option keys to do something like that if I wanted to do that. So that's just making it get bigger, but if I actually want to kind of increase it within that rectangle, then I would just come down here to where it says Transform Objects, and I would uncheck that and then come back up here and highlight this, and you see it stays within. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say OK, and I have my pattern. I can make other variations of it. I mean, I can put another rectangle in here and put the pattern back in there and change the scale size. I'm going to place some gold behind this and then add some rectangles. So I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to give you a little gold background pattern, and I'm going to place this in here. I'm just going to put my cursor on the corner and maybe do something like that. Just transform it, put it up over here, and then I'm going to drag. So it kind of matches up with my object shaped. Something like that. Make sure it fits on there. Looks like I need to rotate it a little bit still. There we go. All right, I'm going to open my layers panel and open this up. And I'm going to drag this gold layer below my pattern. So I have something like that. Well, my pattern's a little bit off too. Drag that out. So I have something like that, and I can expand on that. And what do I mean by that? I can create another rectangle, let's say inside of this one, and put that pattern back in here again, right? And then come up and go up to Object, Transform, Scale, and increase this. Oops, I need to make sure that I had this unchecked. Sorry. And then transform it. Look at that. I can get a really weird effect and a different design. I can go minus the other way. So I could do something like that as well if I wanted to. I'm going to say okay. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to add a little rectangle around the outside Grab the rectangle tool. This time I'm going to fill it up. Change my fill to no fill and change the stroke to black. And let's create a black background, border I should say. Around that, I'm going to change the point size to maybe 20. Maybe a little bit more. Like that. And I can keep going. I can just keep going. I can add another little rectangle inside of there. Like that. And let's say I wanted to create a shape. And I'm just going to use, I'm going to go back between the pen tool and my Command V. So let me grab the pen tool and let me make a little shape. How's that? I'm going to click, click. Maybe come down, something like that. Something like that. And maybe center that as much as I can. Whoops. Sorry. Maybe center that like that. Maybe put some text on the inside of that. Let me grab my text tool. I'm going to come out here and write Art Deco. Although I don't see it right now. Let me select that. And change that type. Oh wow, where'd it go? Try that again. Let me grab. Put my text over here, make sure it's nice and big, and write Art Deco. And maybe kind of come up here, center it, make it a little bit bigger. Ooh. Change it to 72. And I'm gonna go and mess with this. Oh, I like this apple chancery. And I'm gonna change the color on that to gold as well. Maybe something like that. See what that looks like. Maybe put that in there. Oh, I think I want it in black. I think I'm gonna change that to black. Yeah, maybe make it a little bit thicker. I don't know, maybe I'll change that to, what is that? Art Deco. Let's change that. Maybe something like that. I think I'm going to turn the opacity down on that gold real quick. Let's do that. I'm going to go to that layer. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to turn that down a little bit. So I'm going to go up to my opacity. Turn that down. At any rate, I'm going to zoom in, something like that. Maybe I have too much going on, but you get the picture, I think, of what I want to do. I might turn some of these off. Ooh, I think I like that better. Something like that. All right. Thank you.